So we can put that under things.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to cut it or what.
Yeah, good? Already? Okay.
Cool. Right on. Well, hey everybody, I'm Clocks. I think last week we ended up doing a tutting video to help explain very simple concepts for beginning tutters, people new to tutting, and today we wanted to elaborate a little bit more on that. So just a quick recap. Last week we talked about 3 kinds of movements in tutting. There's a hinge, there is a slide, and there is a rotate. Hinge, slide, and rotate. Now the difference between a hinge and a rotate is just the hinge is at the wrist and a rotate is not, right? Otherwise it's kind of the same idea. So, last time...
So this is a part of a rotate or a hinge?
This is, I mean, from here you're rotating this piece, right?
Well, the hinge is kind of straight move.
Yeah, I mean, I would still say this is a hinge. Right? But this is a rotate.
Oh, I see.
Because you're just rotating the shoulder piece,
my shoulder,
right?
Yeah. Okay, it makes sense. Right.
And then we had an exercise on top of that of being able to hinge, slide, and rotate through a single point, a fixed point, right? You put a point in space, and you're able to move. Yeah. Slide, hinge, and rotate. And then just being able to move through that fluently with some practice, right? Just being able to do all of that without moving the point, right? And the idea is you kind of get the idea of how you would want to move a tut in one space. So today, I'm going to elaborate on that concept a little bit more, and we're going to add the idea of moving the point. Now, you don't have to be crazy and move the point all the time. If you're just starting out, do a couple iterations in one space, right? And then move the point. Now, where can we move it? We can move it to the end of one of the tuts we already have. Like if we're moving here, right, and I've got this shape. This is the shape I have. I can move the point along the shape. I can also move the point outside of the shape. So those are your options, right? Those are the 2 simplest options. Along the shape is simple because you know where it is, and then being outside of the shape means that I'm just gonna find a way to get this shape there. Now I'm gonna hold, while I'm moving it, I'm gonna hold that shape until it gets to that point, right? Yeah, you see lots of tutters doing this concept called magnets, which is basically moving a fixed point to some point outside of the shape and then kind of moving their fingers like this.
But you still move that thing, right? You still trace that move.
Yeah, you don't even have to trace it. You could just go right? Okay. You can also do opposite, right? You can go here, right?
Yeah.
So you're creating different shapes with just that one pathway. So that's a concept called magnets. So if you're moving outside of yourself, that's a magnet, right? That's the idea. If you're moving along it, it still kind of works, but it's more visual when it's away from the actual shape, right? So, but now we basically just repeat. Once we've moved this position, then we continue doing our slide, hinging, and our rotation. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go that fast. I was just trying to show. So if we're here, right? Slide, hinge, and then rotate.
Okay.
Now move the point somewhere, anywhere you want. The point.
Oh, the point.
Okay, anywhere you want. Yep.
This.
And there you go.
And here.
Yep.
Rotate it, and you catch, and then you can continue the stories there.
Yep. Exactly. See, and now you're freestyling with how you can move the actual tut.
I get it. Yeah.
Right. So we talked about how to move the tut through a point, but now we want to move the tut around space. Right? So we're able to move the tut anywhere we want. And the idea is you're building all of this with one hand. Remember to switch hands. Right. So if you're used to doing, if this is starting to get comfortable, right? Switch to the other hand. make this the point and use your alternating hand to make sure that you're learning your skills on both sides. Right? That's the idea. So being able to do that. Right? And then, since we did it on the other side, we're going to start, once we're comfortable on this side, moving through one point in space.
Right.
Then we're going to move the point somewhere else, and we're going to find an interesting way to get to the new position, and then just move it.
Bye, kumse.
Bye, kumse. But yeah, that's the idea. So as you're moving it, you can move the point to more and more places around your body.
Right.
Because we were just talking about the arms and maybe outside of the arms. But if I'm here, I can move this point to my shoulder and bring it up to meet my shoulder, and now my tut is at my shoulder.
Right here. Right.
Right? And I can just work with that as a point in space.
Right. Well, you gotta out a little bit, but still there, right? And bring back.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just work with that as a point, as a concept. And then once you feel comfortable with that, right?
Nice. Yeah.
So, and another concept we talked about last week was 4 corners. Basically, the idea that within reach you have these 4 points right here that are very distinct, very easy to navigate. Just take your position, and you can move in each one of those scenarios, right?
See. So you could do this.
Yes. So as we were doing this movement through one point, we can do that across the 4 corners. So you can go through one corner, do the thing, now switch to 3, and then do the thing somewhere else. And then switch to 3, do the exact same thing.
I need that set. I don't get it. Well, how'd you do that? Like, with 1 point here?
Yeah, so it's the same idea.
So
we went through all these points, but now we're going to rotate here.
Boom. Oh, this one. Boom. And this.
Yep. And then once you're ready, just move over. Yep. And then continue those ideas through here. Yep. And then up. And now do the same ideas right here.
Right. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then now you're back to here.
Oh, this.
Yep.
Then
same idea, right? So you can freestyle. So you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but it's just the same. It's the same exercise, but we're just moving that exercise around the space that's very comfortable for us right now.
I need some simple like this.
Yeah.
The slided ideas.
And this is great because these are all like 2D, very readable, like sorts of ideas, right? When you feel comfortable with that, feel free to explore like a 3-dimensional space where you're allowed to move forward and back. Because at the end of the day, it's still dance. Right? And as you want to move around the place, we want to be able to move our tuts in space.
Yeah, it's like a more 3D tuts. Yeah. Man, that's far advanced.
Right, but you can see easily how you get from there to a more advanced positioning because it's just getting comfortable with that kind of movement.
Yeah.
From there, you can just kind of take any concept, any shape that you like, and do the exact same thing.
Right.
We talked about this a little bit last week, but just being able to manipulate through both arms will start getting you to positions that look more like conventional tutting with the boxes, right? So I'm doing the same ideas, but instead of just using a point, both hands look like they're tutting, right? Same ideas. It's the exact same idea.
Yeah.
But when you use so like it looks crazy, but if you just think about what you're doing the exact same, you're doing this the whole time. The only difference is you're moving this point and the other point is another tut that's doing the same thing. So, that being said, that does sound a little bit simple, but if you practice it that way, it's much easier to see. It's very, very easy to see. So feel free to explore moving down, up, sideways, all around with however you want to move these points. You can go anywhere, right? It's important to remember that you kind of, if you can, watch yourself in a mirror so that when you're exploring your points, you're like, oh, that's not as straight as it could be. Okay, let me fix that.
Yeah,
right?
This part, yeah.
That's the other part, is when you're doing these kinds of very visual lines and movements.
But that was after, right? You gotta do like a freestyle first.
Yeah, the freestyle will help you think about it in your mind, for sure.
Then you clean up your angles later.
Yeah, I would suggest maybe sooner than later, because I know a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, and I guess there's nothing, like, it's not wrong with that, but everyone wants to see it too. It's really cool when everyone can see it.
Right.
So if you can show it too, the sooner you can learn that, probably the better.
Right.
Yeah, but absolutely, have fun with it. If being in front of a mirror isn't fun for you, then don't do it. Don't do it until you need to.
Yeah.
Right?
But a lot of people wants to do it right now.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. So your info?
Yeah, again, my name is Clocks. You can find me on Instagram at ClocksTicken. That's CLOCKS _TICKIN. That's on Instagram.
I hope I can put them in the link. You
send me it's going to be in the description. I'll send you.
Yeah,
I'll send you that.
Paste, yeah.
I also have a few videos on YouTube, but not as many instructional videos. But I'm looking to post more soon.
So I put that link too. So you send me the links.
Okay.
All right.
For sure.
Good?
Thank you so much. Have a great night or day or whatever time it is, as whenever it is for you.
All right. Can it turn off?